Hello everyone, welcome to KBEAR. So this is going to be pretty much my first review for the year. I'm sorry guys, I've not been reviewing a lot of products like I should on this channel, but it is the pandemic situation. Many things I've ordered over the holiday period, December, November. I'm only just getting most of them right now. So and not just that, the stuff I've ordered in February, I haven't gotten them. So anyway, I'll go over that. Some of the products that I've ordered have arrived, so you will be seeing some reviews going forward. But regardless, let's start out with the brand new KBEAR KS1. So this one arrived today. Normally, whenever an IEM comes to my doorstep and I get it, I take my time. I burn it in. I give it some chance to do its thing, to see how well it performs. But to be honest, with this IEM, I have to just tell you guys, I didn't need to burn this in. This is an excellent sounding IEM. Bannon, like this is already my best budget IEM of all time. Literally, in fact, just the minute I put it in my ears, the the sound it produced was just incredible. Like I don't even understand how KBEAR managed to pull this off for this price. The $20 price tag. I paid about $18 with some, I think, $2 discount. I will leave links in the description. There is a big sale going on right now, the AliExpress 11 year anniversary, so you can actually pick it up now for a discount and all that, and you will get a very good deal overall. So the thing here is that you get a 10mm dynamic driver in here. The dynamic driver here is very well made, not made, but like I'll say tuned. It's a cheap dynamic driver, but it is very well tuned. I think everything boils down to tuning because to be honest, over the past while, dynamic drivers have found a resurgence, and I have to tell you right now, this is by far the best affordable dynamic driver you can buy under $50 right now. Just go for it. Now I'll explain why. So first of all, build quality is the same as if you already have the KZ EDX. This is the KZ EDX next to the KBEAR KS1. I will do a comparison in the next video between these two, and I will explain why this is the default upgrade of this particular set. Now, going back to the KS1, you are getting pretty much almost the same shell as the EDX. The only difference is the stem. The stem is longer, and there is a trick I use here, and for some while people have been asking me, how do I curb pressure build up, how do I curb high frequency sound, and how do I improve sound overall on any earphone. And I'm going to teach you guys a cheat that I started a few months back, but I haven't really, because I've not been making proper reviews on the channel for other IEMs I own. So I have been doing this for some months. So now what you do is that, if you notice here, there is a tip, there is a part of an ear tip that is here in on top of the main, sorry, not on top, like look at what you do. Let me explain this so you guys understand. So what you do is that if you want to curb sibilance, high frequency, and even pressure build up and make it a more comfortable experience, what you do is that you get any ear tip whatsoever. You can get any ear tip that you own that you're not using, something like this. You roll it up, you kind of like flip it, invert it. You see, you invert it, and when you invert it, you bite off this ring that goes across your earphone to actually fit the ear tip on it. So when you bite it off, it will look something like this. So when you do this, when you have something like this, uh what this does is that once you put this on your earphone first, before attaching the ear tips that sizes your ears canal properly, it will kind of like, it will bump up the ear tip out of the nozzle of the earphone, whereby this only kind of like stays in your ears. The foamy part of this ear tip stays in your ears and gives you a better seal, while reducing any high frequency that you will the annoying high frequency, that sibilance and all that. You will just get a very clean sound and better sound overall. In fact, you will not have any harshness to any earphone. I've tried it on other earphones and it works perfectly. My JadeAudio, all my other earphones have this setup. If you don't have some long ear tips, like for instance, the ear tip I'm using, sorry for the dirt here, it's earwax, not wax this out of the ball. This EDX, for instance, I'm using a very long style ear tip. So this is another type of ear tip you can buy, but it's not a very common ear tip. So if you cannot buy wide bore ear tips, buy these sort of ear tips that have an opening that is very different from the regular normal ear tip that is very much sealed. So you get a very good sound that is very open. Like for instance, the stock ear tip that came with the KS1 has a very good opening, which is pretty much similar to like a wide bore ear tip, but more or less like a narrow wide bore ear tip that goes into your ears. So do this and you will get a very good performance. So now in terms of performance, I would say that this is a fantastic sounding earphone. Now let's go over the frequency, pretty much from the bass to the treble. Now the bass on this is not too accented, but it is elevated a bit. Some people will try to compare this. The other reviews I've seen try to compare it with the Blon BLO3, which I have here. This is the OG Blon BLO3. I have to say right now, this does not sound like the Blon BLO3. This sounds like a much better tuned KZ EDX. This sounds like a better tuned KZ EDX with a better control on bass and a better separation and almost as good soundstage as the EDX. The EDX still has better soundstage than it does, but it is as good as, almost as good as in soundstage. But every other thing in sound is better, way better than the EDX. So the bass is slightly accented. You get a kick that is good and it's very controlled. Like the one thing that immediately I noticed playing my first track, and that was that the Weekend Starboy, was the bass control. Like if I really want to test how loose or how clean your bass is, I just play the Weekend Starboy. The bass note at the first start of the track was just amazing, like literally amazing, in the sense that it was controlled, it was not bloated, it wasn't the cleanest, tightest bass that I know I could get, but I knew what I was expecting from a $20 earphone. So I wasn't like going to tax it to give me the absolute best, you understand. But for the bass, I like it more than any other budget earphone I have in my collection. Every other earphone is better. All the Blondes, KZs, Tin Hi-Fis, it is better. So let's go to the mids. But bass, I really like bass for this. The mids on this is, if you look at the frequency graph, you may think it's recessed, but it's really not that recessed. It is very coherent. That's the word I would use for it. It is quite clear. You will get a very nice textured vocals. It's not as precise and as forward as I would want it, especially you understand, especially for the male vocals. It's not as rich as I would want it. But look, when you are playing this low and you're getting this kind of sound quality, nitpicking the best mate is something that is crazy, because it is already outperforming what I even intended for it to do. You understand? So this the mate is not the best, but it is very good. Vocals, like when I listen to Kaiser, all of the feelings, the track, all of the feelings, or even Kaiser's new album, Crave. Her new album is Crave. So if you want to get how good the vocals are on this, go get Kaiser's 2020 album Crave. Even listening to the song Crave was fantastic on this. Kaiser is a melodical singer. She's a pop singer, but it's more, she leans more towards the mids. It's pop, but the songs lean towards the mids and the high frequencies. So if you really want to know how good your earphones are, get the Kaiser new album Crave on FLAC. I have it on FLAC, so I can get the HD sound, and I can at least I can test whether it is clean enough. It is good enough. It's not the best, but it's good enough. Now, in terms of treble, the treble is good. It's better than both the Blondes and as good as the EDX. The only thing it has over the EDX is a better control and extension without sibilance. You know, people complained about the EDX, saying that this EDX did sound sibilant and all that. That's because they did not do this method of getting bullet style ear tips that detach the nozzle from your ears. The EDX is not sibilant if you can get ear tips or use this method that I showed you guys by biting off another ear tip, wrapping it around the nozzle before putting your ear tip. If you can detach it away from the mouth and make it long apart from the nozzle of the earphone itself, you would not get that sibilance. So that is the benefit of it. So in terms of extension, it's not the craziest, it's not the best, but it is good enough for the most part. It's a dynamic driver, it's very cheap, so I'm not expecting it to extend to its maximum depth. It's just good enough. Now, in terms of every other thing that you get, like soundstage on this is pretty average to low, in my opinion. It is not as wide as the EDX. The EDX still has one thing over this that I still say that is soundstage. The soundstage on this guy is great, especially for movies. Now I use this to watch movies. I watched the Dry, a movie called The Dry. The separation is where this KS1 literally destroys the EDX. In fact, playing movies, it felt like you're in a cinema, because the way it separates the channels is very good. Like I literally could tell instantly that this is a better earphone just playing a movie just playing a movie on this. It was very clear immediately. There was no doubt that it was a much superior tuned earphone with better separation. The only thing this had over it was soundstage. I really wanted more of soundstage, but if you do this method of separating the nozzle a bit from the ear tip itself, like this method, you will get a very larger soundstage. Like literally, the soundstage on this is bigger than what it should be if you just put the ear tips like that. If you separate it a bit, because the nozzles are far away from your ears now, it expands the soundstage, and it makes it a lot better to play movies and all that and enjoy your content. Now, the final thing before I close this review, in terms of other things you get, like I hate the cable. This cable reminds me of the Blon BLO3 cable. It's absolute trash. Some people that review this say that it's good enough, they like it, it's fine for them. I hate this cable. I feel, and oh well, look, I don't want to complain. This is a earphone, but the KZ EDX cable is better than this. And I'm even being generous. The EDX cable does not tangle like this. And I have about 3 EDXs that I have in my bag. And to be honest, I don't like this cable. This cable is too tangly. It's useless, pretty much useless. So that's trash. I'm throwing that away. But don't do what I did, because this is an expensive silver cable. This silver cable alone will cost you about $30 to $35. I actually paid $35 for this cable. This is the KBEAR Limpid Pro 8-core cable. I know a lot of people will look, dude, I can't spend $35 extra just on cable. Look, if you really want the best out of this earphone, you need to buy a cable. You really need to buy a silver cable and pair with this, because this has a slight moderate V shape. So you need cable to actually, you need a silver cable that is a bit neutral to bright to pull all the detail out of it. So that is my advice. You buy the KBEAR Limpid Pro. I'll link that in the description as well if you're interested in that. Other than that, this is a fantastic earphone with great value, and I highly recommend this. This is the best budget earphone I've tested below $50 till date. And if I do find something that beats it in the future, I will kindly tell you guys. Do subscribe to our channel, do like our content, follow on social media. I'm going to see you guys next time.